Well, we can have a chat now to someone who can give us an insight into both Scotland and France coach Fabien Galthié. Former Scotland international Johnnie Beattie joins us. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. How are you guys? You well?
John, we're very good, mate. We're very good. We can't work out whether we're all in danger with the virus or not. But we are here and everything's going well. Talk to us, mate. You've been out in the media quite a lot, but retirement, it's come to us all and it's now come to you. So how's that treating you, buddy?
No, good. Honestly, not missing it, which is a relief because you see a lot of people retire and they miss it a lot. But just enjoying getting into different things, enjoying not being sore anymore, and just enjoying the different sort of things that the life after rugby is throwing at me.
So set the scene for us, mate. You're obviously, I can hear it in your voice, you're actually Scottish, whereas Jim isn't. But you're where are you living at the minute? So you obviously spent the last 8 years of your career playing out in France. Where's home now?
Yep.
Is it Chômage?
It is Fromage Frais. We're just based outside Biarritz, on the southwest coast. So we'll be there certainly for the next 2 years. I'll be dipping back and forth, and doing little bits of work in the UK and in France. So it's been good fun. It's been a good start. It's been different and challenging, but I'm really enjoying it.
Johnny, talk to me about the Killer Bees back in the day, playing for Glasgow, winning a Croke Park for Ireland. I mean, how good? How good?
Yeah, it was good fun, and it was nice to be tagged with the Killer Bees by press. Was good fun, and like Kelly and John really enjoyed it. I thought it was a little bit cringe at the time.
Well,
if I'm honest.
It wasn't the Killer Bees; it was BBH. That's what it was called. So,
so Kelly, the boys, they even give them. Nobody knows this, but they even gave themselves B nicknames. So Kelly was Worker Bee. John was Bumblebee, and they called
goodness.
me. Mate, I got Mel Bee because I wasn't interested. So,
mate, I'll tell you what, we were so loose back then. It was crazy. Like we were literally absolute nutters.
Oh, it was good fun, mate. Good fun, Jim.
Talk to us a little bit about the weekend then, because you've been quite vocal around the French team, because we know Fabien. Well, you know him a lot better than me, and being in France and where this French team are. So we know it was a very French performance of old going back, but just give us your kind of insight to what you thought. It was class that we got the win, though.
Yes, so more generally, I think it's great for the tournament that we've actually seen a bit of classic France. They've been pretty poor for 10 years now, to be honest. So as much as I know you've got your reservations, Jim, Fabien's still the best technical attack coach I ever worked with. I know you didn't understand much of what he said back then, but he is decent, mate. And when you stick him with Sean Edwards, they've got a fairly formidable pair. So the fact that they knocked off England, they knocked off Wales, it's decent to see them back in the tournament and good for the Six Nations. But, I thought it was a big sort of tip of the cap for Gregor Townsend and his team yesterday. They actually figured out how to beat their blitz. I don't think Wayne Pivac or Eddie Jones managed that. I thought their kicking strategy was great. They stopped the blitz, they cross-field kicked, they got in behind them, and really posed them problems, which other teams haven't done. So it was great to win in that fashion. I know other things played a part, yellow cards, red cards, but I thought the way they approached it, the way they kicked them to death and beat that blitz with little smart plays was pretty good. So it was a really good day at BT Murrayfield. It was good fun.
So I want to hear a bit more about Fabien Galthié, because Jim's always painted this picture that he's an absolute cowboy, yet you're saying he's the best attacking technical coach that you've ever had. You must have some good stories about him from your time at Montpellier. And where do those glasses come from? I mean, tell the glasses that.
Mate, I don't know. He looks like Batman. I don't know. He looks good. But the thing is, he's loved, mate. The Frenchies absolutely love him. You see him on TV commentating, and he's an actor. Like, he's really good at acting. The guy you see on there is this charming, handsome bloke, and then again with us, he could be absolutely mental. So he was dragging boys around the pitch, screaming at them, calling them fat pigs, dragging them by the ear if you're not in the right position. I remember pretty much the final nail in Jim's coffin was Fabien's best mate Mario Ledesma. I remember us playing at Bayonne, Jim, and we were really proud being over there, and it was on Sky Sports at the time. And Jim's calling the lineouts and defensive lineouts and not jumping, and the camera pans to Mario and he shouts, Jim, jump, you fucking asshole, we pay you to jump. And mate, it was just next level. It was the Wild West. So you got Fabien, who he's a talented bloke. His attack stuff was amazing. He brought in that blitz defence he saw with Sean Edwards and the South African team back in the noughties and Wales and Wasp used it as well. So he is a good coach, but it's really loose. It's a completely different environment. And I think, Jim, after that Bayonne game, you were out the door about 3 months later. So it's not for everybody. We had some boys rock up to the club with anxiety problems, with stomach cramps. They had to go and see psychologists. Some boys retired. So it was tough. I mean, luckily he was good with me, and a decent bloke with me. But yeah, he was a tough old bloke, talented, but was capable of completely burning bridges, destroying club cultures, environments, whatever you like. But even back then, we said he was hard to work with, but he'd be awesome as a national team coach. So you're with him for like 6, 7, 8 weeks, and that's it. You get away, recover, and mentally regather yourself, because he'd be good at directing a national team, but terrible to work with every day for 2-3 years. So I think he's found the right place. That's the right place for him. He's done a good job. He's led a bit of a mini renaissance, and the Frenchies absolutely love him.
Yeah, I agree with Jim then. He's an absolute cowboy. If you're treating people like that, if he's calling anyone a fat pig, I'm not having it.
Well, mate, my thing is the stomach cramps didn't come from shouting at people, mate. It come from the 500 croissants that you had to eat a day, mate. And I'm not even joking. That was it. You used to have croissants for lunch, breakfast and dinner as well. So,
mate, that's not changed him. Like, even I was at Cast 2 years ago, and our pre-match meal 3 years ago, was goat's cheese pizzas, steak and chips, and cans of Coke and ice cream.
Oh, how good! How good!
It's amazing, but it hasn't moved on. But once they get hold on properly professionalizing their rugby, they're going to be unbelievable, because the natural talent they have in the depth is freakish. So it's almost for our own good sakes that they aren't where they should be yet.
So basically, Fabien hated Jim because he couldn't understand French and he couldn't understand rugby. All right, is that what it is?
Well, it's just different, mate. So, like, Jim, obviously we played together for a long time. You need like the emotional buy-in to buy into the culture of the club. You need to feel welcomed, and you don't get that in France. It's wild. You're there, you're paid to play and do a job a certain way, and if it doesn't matter how big your name is, if you're not welcomed or enjoyed properly, you get carted straight back out. So, mate, Jim, you'd made up your mind after 3 months it wasn't for you, and you went back to Sarries. And it isn't for everyone, because it is completely loose, but it's an experience that I loved, and it's been great fun.
Mate, you think me driving around on my Harley Davidson, I've got Bruce in the side cart next to me, driving up the Lagrange in Le Montagne, smoking a cigar. I just had the cigar in my mouth. I didn't light it, but I looked cool as shit. That I would have loved it, had a swimming pool in the back garden. But John, you are right. It's not for everyone. And look, we always said that Fabien was going to do well. So where do they go now as a team, do you think? So they can point to the red card and say that obviously that's the reason why they lost the game. There's obviously no game next weekend. So, I mean, it's hard to kind of get a gauge where we're at. It's probably difficult to talk about, them winning the championship, because it's not going to be played until October, it seems.
Well, I don't know. They've got loads of lessons to learn. They were on course for a Grand Slam.
A what?
And a Grand Slam.
That's what we call it in Scotland, mate. That's what we call it in Scotland, because if you get it, it's a slam.
And they weren't too far away, but now it's not to be. I mean, the boy Momo Hwas, the big tight head prop, he was a guy that was targeted by Scotland. They knew that he was loose. I don't know if you remember the clip of him trying to knock out Bismarck Duplessis in a warm-up from Montpellier last season.
I do.
So, I mean, like, loose as a goose, but they've got the nuts and bolts and a coaching team now with added steel that they could actually go places. So they've got little lessons to learn. They didn't control the first 20-30 minutes very well at all. They were obviously overly emotional and imploded. And if they get a handle on that, I mean, they've got talent in every position now and a decent coaching team around them. So they could build around these young boys and be pretty good over the next couple of years.
All right, Johnny, thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciate your time, mate.
No worries. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, Johnny.
Cheers, Johnny. Thanks, mate.